All right, I finished this book last night. Needed a minute to think about what I wanted to say. This is QuickSilver by Callie Hart. So a couple of thoughts. It did take me quite a few days to finish this book. And yes, it is large, but that's not the reason. It was so hard for me to buy in to this story, and it was a slow start for me. I had trouble saying their names. There is a pronunciation guide at the beginning, and I tried, y'all. I tried so hard to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it was disrupting my ability to read. So I just kind of did a Gossip Girl, and I was just like, okay, this is S, and this is C, and this is L, and we just kept it moving. So it did kind of take me out of the story a little bit because every single name is difficult to pronounce. And so if I butcher them as I'm doing this video, I apologize. But we have Saris, and she is our main character, and I didn't love her development in this story. She starts off as this bad kind of thief, and she will do anything to help her brother as they are trying to figure out how to survive in the third and get water, because water is very scarce here. They get water rations, but it's gross and nasty. And then we come across Carrion, and we're not supposed to like Carrion, and I immediately fall in love with Carrion for some reason, and it kind of struck me as odd that we're supposed to not like this character when he's so far the only character that I've identified with. And so that kind of was a little frustrating because he was funny and he was witty and he was kind of sweet, and so it was just kind of awkward to me that the one character that I latch onto is the one character that I'm not supposed to like here at the beginning. And so then there's this whole magical realm system that I'm trying to figure out, and what's hard for me as I was reading through is that there's magic in the elements, but also there's different worlds that can come out of these elements. And so then you've got world jumping. So you've got like one kingdom, and then you jump to another kingdom, and you get there through the QuickSilver. And it was just kind of hard because I'm like, well, I'm still trying to build this world, and now we're jumping over to a new world, and this one doesn't get developed that well either. And now all of a sudden I'm being taken away from this one to go to another one, and this one has is in the middle of a war. And so there was just a lot of gaps that I feel like were not filled in for me. And it was hard getting into the story because it was so slow. I didn't know where we were going, what we were doing. No one's answering any questions. She's asking questions, but no one's responding to them. And I hate that as a reader. I'm like, I need some clarity on what is going on. And then we finally meet who is supposed to be the love interest in this book, and his name is Kingfisher. Not two names. It's one name, which I have a problem with, but we end up calling him Fisher. And I hate him. I literally hate this character. I'm like, there is nothing redeemable about him. Like, I get through probably to page 267. I'm not even lying. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can start kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. But for 267 pages, I'm over here like, I hate this guy. There is nothing that I like about him. How in the world, just because he's nice to you, he takes away your free will. He makes you do things that you don't want to do. Like, I have a major problem when we try to make guys who are bossy and intimidating, like, seem like that is what we should want of the opposite sex. Like, that to me is a huge red flag. Just because he's cute, just because he has power, doesn't mean that he should be someone that we should want to be with. And so I really have a problem with him. He gets softer as you read further into the book, but then I have a problem with it because I'm like, well, then this character that I'm now enjoying at page 300 is not the same character that I see for the first half of the book. So then it kind of makes me wonder, like the continuity of the consistency of this entire story just kind of doesn't feel like it's right. It's almost like she realized halfway through, like, oh, nobody really likes this character. I'm gonna have to smooth out his edges. I've got to figure out how to get that in there. And he is super old. He's been around for thousands of years. And this poor chick, she's what, 24 years old? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need some time to digest this, right? And then we throw in, we've got prophecies, and now we've got like crazy, in my head, I'm thinking like zombie vampires, like sucking the blood out of you. And like, we've got tattoos that, all of a sudden are moving around on your body. And now we've got fated mates. Like, there was just a lot going on in this story. And I felt like we didn't really get a true firm grasp on our main characters. They were very wishy-washy. Yes, they're together. No, they're not together. We want to just get together for the moment, but this is not long lasting. And then all of a sudden it's like, I want you to be with me forever. I'm not seeing the drastic change in order for me to get from point A to point B. Like, nothing really has changed in y'all's relationship for you to make these drastic changes in your life decisions. So for me, I just felt like we needed to slow it down a little bit. A lot happens in this book. I mean, it's a very thick book. But if you're going to have drastic changes, not only in the relationship, but also for the realms, for the kingdoms, like I need to know more about the relationship as well as the battles and the world building. Like, they both go hand in hand. And so I wish it had slowed down for me. We could have gotten more relationships between Saris and Fisher. But also, this is a very heavily male-dominated cast. I say cast because I don't know what else to call it. But, I mean, there was only one other female character, and it was Fisher's, like, stepsister. And we only get to really interact with her at the very beginning of this story. And the only other girl is a warrior, and we don't like her. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, this whole book, this entire book is men. And I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I don't feel like that is truthful. Like, you're gonna meet other girls out there. Like, there's got to be someone else to build your relationship with. And it's like, even in her other realm, like, she's surrounded by men. And I want to see a female relationship. I want to see what it's like to have girls bonding, how they interact. Like, there's more going on than just one relationship. And I felt like we were so stuck in a male-dominated world. And so I struggled. I struggled with this book because I did not care. It's like, oh, you're going to die. Oh, okay. Next. Like, I could not buy in. And then when I finally got there at the very end, it was when he wrote the letter to her. And I'm like, well, I'm about to just lose it on you, because now I'm finally invested at the very, very end of the book. And I'm like, and it's all for nothing because he didn't even trust her with his plan. And so then the whole time that I'm thinking about this book, I'm just like, I don't like him. I don't like him as a character. I don't like him as a boyfriend. I don't think he understands what it is that he's doing. He's so self-sacrificing that he can't even give her one true night of honesty and relationship because he's too busy scheming and too busy plotting and planning to be truthful and honest with her. So as far as this couple is concerned, it is not my cup of tea. However, I do like the way that it ended, and I do like the fact that, spoiler, she is going to be the next queen of the Vampire Kingdom. And I do think that it has potential to do well in the future. So overall, I'd give it about 3 stars, but just keep all of these things in mind if you're going to pick this book up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.